long time ago, you had done, and it was a little different. You just went into, what do you want? No telling of the story, no details. So, what I want is to experience something I've never experienced in this lifetime, which is marriage. And I want to know how to get it.
When you feel the absence of something that you want so much, you cannot get around it. There is no way to compensate for a vibration that feels like doubt. And so you have to get off the subject, and you haven't exactly been off the subject.
No, because my job and what I do for a living, I'm on 24/7, 365 doing it. So it's been really hard. I try, trust me, I try. I'm always trying to find another thing to focus on.
In the same way that we were talking about dollars and what they mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about a relationship and what that means.
Okay.
What is the vibrational essence of it? Apart from the obvious, what does it feel like? Because, you've heard us say this so many times, no matter what it is that anyone wants, pile of money, a relationship, a circumstance, an event, a material object, it's because they believe they will feel better. So what feels so good from your perspective about a relationship?
I love loving someone, and I love the connection.
You said two things that are a little bit different. You like projecting your appreciation to someone, and you like getting it back. So it's mutual, it's resonance, isn't it?
And also like sex. A lot.
Well, there's a lot of that around.
I don't want to just sleep with a million people. I want to sleep with one that I'm connecting with and raising the vibration with.
We are not disagreeing with anything. You get to want whatever you want, and you get to identify it in whatever way that you want it. But the thing that we want you to feel, we're just going to say this very blatantly, and we've said this to many people very blatantly. Your often offered vibration, which is what a belief is, simply doesn't match your desire. That's all. That's all that it is. Your desire and your belief don't match. And as long as that is true, your true desire cannot come about. As long as your true desire is one thing and your belief is another. Well, what causes a belief? Fact-finding, paying attention to things. So you're too in your head about what a relationship is, and not quite enough in your heart or in your vibration about what it would feel like. And so describe for us what it feels like to be inside a relationship, the one that you want. What does that feel like?
Okay.
Choose your words as you feel them, and let's ponder them and really feel them as you go.
Exhilaration.
All right, now exhilaration, that's all right. Exhilaration is a feeling that has a lot of momentum going. So to start on a subject that has a lot of momentum going, when you've got beliefs that are blocking it, doesn't work very well. So try to go a little softer feeling than exhilaration.
Nurturing.
Nurturing. Now, so nurturing is a good feeling. You being nurtured feels a little needy. But your desire, what's in your vortex, there's no neediness in your vortex. And so when you're looking for nurturing, that's not truly resonant with what you're looking for. And this is what the process is, and it's just wonderful. So just keep offering words. Just keep offering words that describe the feeling that you are reaching for. Because you've made a decision about something that you want, and we want to feel the vibrational essence of your decision. This relationship feels to me like
freedom.
All right, now freedom from what?
To fly.
Freedom from not being alone. Even though you're offering words that seem like they should be resonant, they're not, because they're coming from a different place than this alignment. And the purpose of this conversation is for the feeling that you have to reach this place, and it will. We're just going to stay here till it does. So relationship feels like,
I keep getting the word connection, like in alignment with someone who's like you, that you can be together. And
but see, when you're connected with you, then you can find someone who's connected with you. But until you're connected with you, when you're looking for someone to make the connection, then it keeps not happening. And a lot of people, there's no reason in the world that you couldn't have hooked up with this one and this one and this one and this one and this one, except that what's in your vortex is something very different from that. So what you're saying to us is, Abraham, over time, I've created a very specific relationship, and I don't want to settle for anything less than that. But clearly, I must not be a vibrational match to what I've created in my vortex. Help me be a vibrational match to what I've put into my vortex. That's what this question is. How can I be a vibrational match to what's in my vortex? Well, you got to understand what's in there. Do you believe you have a vortex?
Yes.
Do you think it has a lot of components on this subject?
Yes.
Do you think that since you've been putting them there incrementally, that they have gestated and that they are ready for you to be ready for them?
Yes.
Yes. There's no question. And so therefore, isn't the only question, how can I be ready for what's ready for me?
Correct.
And how do you know if you're not ready? Feels like negative emotion. How do you know if you are ready?
Happy emotion.
Feels like positive.
Yeah.
So this conversation is not about making something happen so that you can be happy. This conversation is about being happy in this conversation.
True.
You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about accomplishing something so I can get to the manifestation. It's about being happy. It's about making the connection with your inner being so that you don't even need the connection with another human. And when you've made the connection with your inner being so that you don't even need or even really want, then someone who is also in that place of connection will just flow into your experience, and you'll say, I've been looking for you. Makes sense, doesn't it? What you're feeling right now is so good, because what you're feeling right now is the absence of that feeling. And how do you know what you do want if you don't know what you don't want? What you're feeling is
Sadness that it's not there.
sadness.
That I bring other people their true love, and I can't seem to get it myself right. And I've been doing it my whole life. And it's pissing me the fuck off. I'm sorry.
So you're having a step one moment.
Pretty much so.
And we would like it to be a step five moment where you're feeling that, but not mad at yourself because you're feeling that. This is such an important conversation, because of course you know what you don't want and you know what you do want, and you're really good at what you do, and you're not very far from being in that place that you want. What you're about in your work is bringing manifestations about that make people happy, which is backwards of the way the laws of the universe are working, because the laws of the universe say get happy, and then that happiness will be reflected in all of these different ways. From your own experience, what does a relationship most feel like?
Fun. I'm the best I am when I'm in a relationship.
So can you feel, from what we've been talking about the laws of the universe, that if there's something that you want and it hasn't manifested yet in your experience, that you must be offering a vibration that is in opposition to it?
Yes.
Logical. We know you know that. So from that point of view, what does the absence of a relationship feel like?
Crap.
But that's a descriptive but general word. But what is it about not having a relationship? What does that feel like?
Like you don't belong.
All right, so sort of a fish out of water. Everybody goes home with somebody, and so describe that a little bit. Find emotional terms to describe that.
Noah's Ark, like something's wrong with you. Why can't I find it, but you know, and other people can?
But you see, you're going further into the question than we're really wanting you to right now. We just want you to find the vibrational essence of the feeling of the absence of this thing that you want.
Okay.
So it feels like lonely. It feels like incompletion. It feels like no one to back you up. It feels like no one specifically assigned to be on your side.
Exactly.
It feels like sort of emptiness. It feels like incompletion. Feels like wrongdoing.
And also feels like out of control. Like it's not in my control. It's like destiny. You know, these stories we're taught as a child. These stupid, the beshert, if you're Jewish, story.
Well,
like, where's my soulmate? Where's my other half?
Well, let's stop there just for a minute, because we know that you've gone further into your understanding of law of attraction than that. So we know you don't really believe that.
I don't believe there's one person. I believe there's more than one person.
But what we mean is, you know that you create your own reality. And so don't you think that as far as that goes with you, it's more of a question of why am I not doing a better job of creating something I want rather than who's preventing me from it?
Yeah, probably. Or is it that there's not a good match for me because I meet guys, I date them.
But that's completely illogical. If anything that we've been saying is true, and surely some of it must be,
Obviously.
then the creation of your vortex means that what you want is vibrationally already there. So how are you going to turn those vibrations to the things that you want? Now let's just stop here for just a moment, because you're doing a really good job of explaining to a lot of people why things aren't going better for them on some subjects too. Because there's a tendency, and we get why, to be standing in a place other than where you want to be, and then sort of drum up old stories or beliefs that sort of support that. That's what you were just doing just now, even though those stories that you were drumming up don't have anything to do with what you really believe. You do believe that you've created a vortex and that your vortex can come to you. We know you do. And we know that you do not believe in some destiny that is forsaking you of something you want. Even though you just said it just now, sort of like you kind of believe it, we know you don't believe that. We know for sure that what you believe is that you've created something, that it's in the vortex and you just can't figure out how to get it out. We know that you believe that. And yet nobody wants to say, hey, I'm doing a bad job of not letting what I want out of the vortex. I'm doing a bad job of not lining up with it. And yet that's what's happening. You're doing a bad job of not lining up with what you want. And you know why? Because all day, every day, you're focused upon. Usually when someone really wants something, and we can feel the power of your desire, when someone really wants something and it isn't unfolding to them easily, our encouragement to them is get off the subject. But you can't.
That's the problem.
You can't get off the subject, and so you can't give yourself any relief from the thoughts that you keep thinking that are in direct opposition to what you want. And so you are going to have a little harder job than almost anybody else, because you can't take your thoughts off the subject and put them on another subject that's working all the time. You could some of the time. In other words, you could focus upon prosperity and feel the feeling place of that and recognize how that all came about. There are things that you could focus upon. So let's just accept that you are, let us be clear about this for all of you. So if there's something that you really want that you don't believe, your issue, so to speak, and you visit with us about it, we always try to get you to deactivate the issue by activating something else. Because when you deactivate the issue, which is just the contradictory thoughts, then the vortex on the subject becomes dominant and things start unfolding for you. We've said, if you have 5 subjects and 4 of them are not working and 1 of them is, focus upon the one that is working, create a vibration of receptive mode that lets the other 4 work. Or we've said, if you've got 5 things that matter to you and 4 of them are really working well and 1 of them isn't, focus on any one of the 4 that is working well and the other one will too. So that's been our encouragement. But you are one of the extreme exceptions to that encouragement, because you can't not think about this subject a great deal, because it is something that is another really big part of your life experience. So you have to be someone who is able to focus yourselves upon your desire. You can't get off the subject, so you've got to clarify this desire. You can't get off the subject, so you have to accept it like it really is. And we believe that we've come a long way already by not letting you scapegoat by saying, well, maybe it's this ridiculous thing, or maybe it's this ridiculous thing. It's not about any of those ridiculous things. It's about something really simple. You've got a desire that you spend more airtime focusing upon its opposite, which was the entire first words that we spoke to all of you today. That's what everybody's doing about everything that they want that isn't coming about. So you're not unique in that way. So here's some strong statements that we want to make. If your desire is strong enough, it doesn't matter what you believe, your desire will triumph. How about that? How about that?
That was the best thing I've ever heard.